Welcome back. Facebook facing flack after it was revealed that the posts of close to 7 lakh users were manipulated as part of a study to see the effect on their emotions.
The social networking giant has published details of an experiment in which it manipulated information on users' walls and found it could make connected users feel more positive or negative. The study was done in collaboration with academics from Cornell and UCLA. Lawyers, internet activists and politicians have said the mass experiment was disturbing. Senior British MP Jim Sheridan has called for a parliamentary investigation into the case. Facebook CEO Sheryl Sandberg is in India tomorrow on her first official visit.
I don't think that Facebook should be charged guilty for such a conducting such a survey, because at the end of the day what comes on my newsfeed shouldn't affect me or my mental state.
I think Facebook is guilty about manipulating the newsfeeds of some persons.
I think that's quite unfair, because that's like invading one's privacy, and you don't expect it from a firm like Facebook.
It depends upon people to people, how they take it.
Dr. Samir Parikh, Director, Department of Mental Health and Behavioral Sciences, Fortis Healthcare, joining us this evening. Good evening, sir. It is legal, we are being told, but what Facebook did, was it ethical?
No, it was not. I think any study, be it in the medical domain or the psychological domain, if you conduct a study, you have to take a consent. If you don't take a consent, it is completely unethical. And I think it just exposes us a lot more to the reality that social media or internet can have so much of ability that we as common people may not be aware of. And mere fact of trying something, whether it will make somebody feel good or bad, what if it could make somebody feel really bad about his own self or her own self and lead into something very significant change in their life? I think it's not acceptable.
I think it's something that we all understand as internet users, that it is a vast collection of market research studies and we are the subjects. We do understand that. How is what Facebook did different from what we usually see?
Conducting an experiment without consent of the participants is completely unethical. You'll have to, ideally you should have sent a mail and said, okay, we plan to do a study. Right. Those who want to be a part of it, just say yes. Those who are saying yes is fine, but you really don't have any business to do studies on the psychological domain without consent. I think it's completely unethical and unplaced.
Right. Doctor, just stay with us because we have our first caller, Kailash Wagh, calling us from Mumbai. Kailash, good evening. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, first of all, yes, not only it's unethical, it's illegal, sir. How can anybody test, experiment, or gauge, or meter, or whatever with emotion of the people? No, it cannot be. Facebook is not a country. It's a private social media website where people are allowed to express their opinion. Nobody has the right. And I think Facebook is operated from USA. And we are very scared. Some other nation is trying to control or monitor our emotions. The Facebook, the owners and the management should come out openly and whether they should verify whether they have done it. And if they have done it, it's illegal. Somebody should take them to court. The government of India should take them to court. Nobody has the right to interfere in somebody else's, other nations, people's personal emotions.
Right. Certainly, Kailash, thanks for your call. We get your point. We are also joined now by Vivek Zes. He joins us from Orissa. Hi, Vivek. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm telling that Facebook plays emotional senses. If we use Facebook in day-to-day life, we are creating some nonsense things by commenting on Facebook apps or Facebook photos or likes. It is not an emotional. We are commenting on that our heart. We should, while using Facebook, we should avoid using harsh words or abusive languages. Then only our emotional quotient will be higher. Then we should avoid some damages to the person concerned who are speaking.
Right. Thank you. Doctor, it does, isn't it? It does. Facebook is already having an impact on how we view things, social life, a lot more. But this, to know that some people are doing an experiment on you could possibly, especially here in India, wean some people away from the site.
Well, I'm not sure whether people will go away or not. The whole idea of social networking is that, you become a part of a network. So when your peers and friends are on there, you're almost feeling, let's say, compelled to be a part of it. And that's how this whole generation gets hooked onto social networking. I think what we need to understand is there's no point debating what effect it has or not. Fact is, anything that's a part of your daily routine, you will have an emotional and a cognitive connect to it. And if somebody is trying to test you, well, they need to take your consent. If somebody is trying to manipulate it, then we need to accept the harsh reality of modern day life, that in media, a lot of messages that reach us might well be reaching us because of a vested interest, one way or the other. And that's why I'm a firm believer that in school and colleges we need to inculcate media literacy, because I think media literacy is the only way that young minds will be able to filter the kind of messages that media gives them, so that they can have responsible decision making. Otherwise we are getting into more and more dicier and murkier areas in life in years to come.
Right, we have another caller. Vishwa Gupta is joining us from Puducherry. Go ahead, Mr. Gupta.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm calling from Pondicherry, ma'am.
Right.
Actually, the research from Facebook on the Facebook is very good, because the people who doesn't know the moral value, and another thing is some people are unnecessarily doing many unnecessary things in the Facebook. So this type of research things will improve the things, and also useful for the people how to use how to not to use
Okay,
Facebook.
saying it opens the eyes of the users and they know what they're in for, so it's good that something like this came out in the open. Dr. Parikh, I'm looking at the explanation that is being given for this study. They say this was an attempt to confirm or debunk the notion that when people see great things that other people are doing, they feel bad about their lives, which is why they went ahead and conducted this experiment and saw that if you get a lot of negative feed, you are in a negative frame of mind. This is Facebook's explanation.
So two aspects to this. This is not rocket science. Social psychologists and psychologists have been knowing this for a couple of decades. So what's the point of trying to prove it like this? That's point one. And point two, which is even more clear, and I think in an emphatic way, subjects who are a part of a study have to give consent. Right? You have no business to do studies on people who don't want to be a part of it. I mean, as simple as that.
Malti joining us from Bangalore. Hi Malti, go ahead.
Yeah, hello?
Yes Malti, we can hear you.
Yeah. The thing is, you say that Facebook is helpful to communicate those youngsters to each other and all those things. But I feel it's dragging the people from out the local environment, social activity. Most of these youngsters, they don't recognize who is standing nearby. They can't even have the basic courtesy to say hello, hi, but they are busy with the Facebook and communicating. So what you say that the basic communication, human communication is losing practically, only they are in writing and in communicating with the Facebook. That is, I don't agree that it will help in communication. It has decreasing. Email has decreased the writing part of the letters.
Right.
Phone call and mobiles have decreased the communication this one. Of course, it's useful when you're very far off to communicate where it saves the time.
Right.
Isn't it?
Right,
But
certainly Malti.
I don't think that Facebook will, and look, so many things, see, there is no inhibition for the youngsters present days. Inhibition has to be there to express certain feelings. They can't go on every human being has the feeling, emotions, basic being a human being.
Right.
That doesn't mean
Thank
that
you.
they can put everything on the open book.
Thank you, Malti, for those views. But I guess, that's a larger debate, whether we've lost out, reaching out to each other in person because of Facebook or social networking. I'm also told that we are joined by Mayuri from Chennai. Hi, Mayuri, go ahead. What do you have to say? Good evening.
Social media has been a platform where we look forward to build and maintain so many contacts which we have lost or which we think we may like to have.
Right.
And, these sorts of things, which sort of manipulation which they do, show a good sign at all. If they would have asked us a prior permission, then that is different. But now that they have manipulated, this means they are breaking so many hearts which has trusted Facebook for so many years. It is a platform where we vent our feelings out. So I think this should be, this should not be encouraged.
Not be encouraged. Thank you. But Doctor, I'm just looking at my Facebook page now. Whatever I've done, not just on Facebook, but on internet, looked for shoes, done shopping, looked at some NGOs, everything is reflected on my right-hand side. So they are already manipulating, what I want to buy, what they think that I should buy. So all those ads constantly keep changing according to what I surf. They already are doing that, isn't it? So some would say, what's the big deal if they've done this? The question that was asked by Palki earlier.
I think the difference here is that when you see an ad, it's still an ad, right? So it becomes like any other message that has been given to you by a consumeristic client in a way of sorts. Here you are looking at manipulation of emotions by looking news feeds, which can make you either feel better or worse, and almost picking and choosing and seeing what emotional reaction it has on you. I think that's crossing the line. And like I said at the start, what if somebody really felt bad by the consistent negative images, was otherwise having let's say a fine week, and post that actually starts feeling worse for whatever reason? What if that has impact on that person's personal life, social life, occupational life? You don't dwell and start muddling up with people's emotions and lives. I think that is crossing a line, and I do believe, like one of the callers earlier said, all you needed was to take permission. You take permission of people and say, we'd like you to be a part of a study. I think that's fair enough. Those who want to take them on board. But you cannot do a study without subjects having the right to give a consent. I think that is not acceptable.
I think the idea of people being used as lab rats is what is troubling them the most. But the fact is that that Facebook and other social media sites are already doing that. Facebook, for one, can typically show about 1,500 items at one point on your news feed. It shows only 300, so it's already manipulating what you see and what you feel.
Right, certainly so. With that, going to a short break. We'll be back with more of your questions ahead.
Welcome back. We are doing the Facebook debate, and we are asking if Facebook manipulating user feeds was an unethical practice. We are being joined by Dr. Samir Parikh, Director, Department of Mental Health and Behavioral Sciences. Dr. Parikh, you were also talking about how this could impact certain people. A lot of negative posts could change a person's mood, and that's something that a lot of people are talking about. Interestingly and ironically, again, on social networking sites, do you believe Facebook is the only guilty party in this case? Do people as adults not have a responsibility as well as to how much they share on sites like these and how they get influenced?
So yes, adults have to take the responsibility, but we also need to appreciate the fact that a lot of people are much younger people as well. That's one thing. Second aspect, what one puts there is one aspect of it, but how one is putting things or feeding things onto your page so that you look at certain things more or less, which is not being governed by you, but by a third party who is not related to you, and the emotional impact of that. Now, these are two very different things. So, to the first part of your question, should adults be aware and responsible? Yes, but I do feel media literacy is something that we as a society need to start looking up into, because a lot of messages in media are there ranging from, words like cyberbullying were not even heard of, let's say a decade or so back. Right, but today we talk in terms of intrusion of privacy in various different ways. Now, these are things we need to learn to deal with, and I'm more concerned about school-going kids and very young adults. I think I'm more concerned there because these are the people who have much more of a stronger connect on social networking, and this is also a vulnerable population who is sometimes more vulnerable to the manipulation that is brought over to them.
Right, joining us another caller for the evening, Dr. Chehel is with us from Greater Noida. Go ahead, Dr. Chehel. What do you feel about this entire controversy?
Hey, hi. Please understand. See, all these social media that we have, Facebook, Orkut, and everything else. So this is all passive media, right?
Right.
Now, 4G coming to India and other high technology handheld devices coming to India, you are going to get the next level of Facebook, which is presence, real-time virtual interaction. So this manipulation game in the next 5 to 7 years is going to be at an absolutely different plane. So, whatever we are talking about today, probably 4 years ago this was true. Facebook, manipulation of data. Look at the next 5 years. You got 4G coming. 4G will enable us to have live presence, virtual presence. And then think of the number of extrapolations that we might get from this.
All right. So you're saying that it is only going to get worse from here and we should be on our guard. Dr. Chahal, thanks very much. Another caller from Raud Kela, Pinaz is with us. Pinaz, what do you feel?
Yeah, hello sir, hello ma'am. Recently in one of his interviews, Zuckerberg had remarked to The Guardian that the surveillance conducted by the NSA was unethical and was a threat to the internet. Now with this, and he had personally called Barack Obama to air his concerns. So now with this Facebook experiment, that too without the consent of the users, is absolutely unethical. And I believe that the Facebook as well as the CEO ought to be guilty because of this act.
Very well put, Pinaz. Thank you very much. Dr. Parekh, if I could take that to you. Different standards at play here. Facebook clearly defending its actions, saying that it was only done to help the users to make their using experience better.
No. If you are looking at emotional content, if you are looking at emotional reactions, and you are looking at news feeds on walls and things like that, and you are doing it as a part of a study, a psychological study, a social study, subject have to give consent. No study worldwide across any field that involves subjects can be conducted without consent. I don't think this is even up for debate. This is very, very clear. It's not a grey area. It's very obvious and clear.
Right, Doctor, thank you so much for joining us here and taking all those questions and clarifying a lot for all of us here. Thank you for joining us on CNN IBN. So, of course, clearly majority of the callers saying that this is unethical, unacceptable perhaps, but in the future technology certainly is going to be, and it already is, a vital part of all of us, and we ourselves, I guess there is a responsibility in each one of us to be careful how you take that forward.
Perhaps a wake-up call. Do keep writing in with your comments. Thanks very much for watching.